On the eve of midsummer, you are leaving your small house in the village where you live and heading towards the great communal hall. All the other villagers are doing the same. It is a light, warm evening with the clear, fresh scents of the growing crops in the air. The sun is low in the sky, nearly on the horizon, setting into a golden glow caused by the slight haze of a summer evening. Enter the hall now. There is an array of good food here, delicious and sustaining, nothing lavish or extravagant, because this is not an occasion for indulgence. You have a long night's vigil ahead of you. Nevertheless, you eat and drink your fill, accompanied by your fellow villagers. In a spirit of friendship, you offer a few particularly choice morsels of food to some of the others. They in turn honour you with something you particularly like. After eating, you rest for a while, but not for too long, for the work of the night calls. No word is said, but somehow everyone knows that it is time, and quietly and solemnly they line up and file out of the door. You join them. Some of the people take a torch from a pile and light it at the communal fire. Will you be one of the torch bearers, lighting the way ahead? Or will you be more content to follow where others lead? You are outside the hall now, heading towards the edge of the village. It is dusk, but not yet dark. The sun has set. Your party leaves the village and heads out over the countryside to the high moors. Dusk gathers. As the ground becomes rougher, you are glad of the light of the torches to help you find a firm footfall on the path. Your way leads steadily upwards through gorse and bracken covered slopes. At length you come to a wide open tract of moorland. In the half light you can just see in the distance a patch of darker colour, which as you approach you make out as a circle of standing stones. They are still a long way off, and it seems to take an age for you to reach them. But at last you are there, in the midst of the magnificent standing stones. Within the circle of tall, carefully hewn stones, there are a number of smaller, rougher stones lying on the ground. These have not simply been cast aside, nor are they there by accident. They are placed here so that you may sit or lie in comfort during the nighttime vigil that is to come. You gratefully sit down on one of the stones. You must not get comfortable though, for your intention is to remain awake all night to see the dawning of the coming day. You look up. The sky is getting quite dark now, and many stars have appeared. Very high in the sky is the planet Saturn. Tonight it is not outstandingly bright, but bright enough to show up very clearly against the fainter stars that are in the constellation of Libra, with which it is surrounded. As you continue to gaze at the sky, some of the torchbearers gather fuel and make a fire in the centre of the circle. This will serve to keep away the chill that might otherwise fall later in the night, and to form a focus for your meditation. Someone starts a chant, others join in, and soon the whole party is singing together. The chant continues for many minutes, until, as if by mutual agreement but apparently without a signal of any sort, everyone falls silent. Time passes. Saturn is beginning its descent towards the west. Above and around you can be seen many stars twinkling against the sky, which is now completely dark, though not as dark as the night sky of winter. A pale glow in the east heralds the rising of the moon. The moon makes its appearance above the horizon. It is a balsamic moon, approaching the last quarter. Big and somewhat orange at first, it soon becomes clear and sharp as it climbs into the sky. As the hours pass, the moon slowly rises higher. It is not as bright as the full moon, but still casts a clear silver light on the ground and makes the stars near to it seem very pale. The night remains quiet and still. Just the occasional rustle of a person making a small movement, perhaps pulling their clothing tighter around them as the air cools, or perhaps standing for a few moments to stretch cramped limbs. Saturn disappears from view below the western horizon. You sit quietly, contemplating the moonlight and the embers of the dwindling fire. What goes through your mind as you sit there? What mysteries of the universe reveal themselves to you on this long night's vigil? Another 2 hours pass. At length, one of the elders gets up and walks purposefully towards the eastern side of the stone circle. Poised and alert, almost as if sniffing the air. "It is time," he says. In the east, you think you begin to see something. The first chink of light that indicates the coming dawn. The local wildlife has noticed it too. You hear the first of the birds start to sing to usher in the new day. You all gather together in the middle of the circle of stones. You continue to wait together as the sky slowly turns from black to grey and then to blue. The bright planet Jupiter appears above the southeastern horizon. A few minutes later, it is joined by an even brighter Venus in the east. But then, almost immediately, there is a brief golden glow on the horizon. The sun breaks into view, and the planets fade from sight. As the sun rises in the sky, its rays of light and warmth shine down, directly between two of the upright stones and onto the waiting group of people. Soak up that light and warmth for a moment. Feel the blessings that the sun brings with it. And now it is time for the villagers to return home. They have a long walk ahead of them. Then they will breakfast and retire gratefully to bed. But you remain behind and sit again on one of the rocks, for you will journey home by a different route. Sit quietly for a few moments and return to objective reality, in the place and the time where you started your meditation. Put your consciousness in the center of your head, just behind your eyes, and when you are ready, open your eyes. Take a few hours or a few days to absorb the significance of this meditation. If you wish, you may repeat the meditation several times during the period around the festival. Blessed be.